What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. Today it's team selection ahead of game week 19. Very big game week, the first double game week of the season. Double game weeks are always fun, right? Everybody loves them. They can be a bit stressful to get ready for, but once you're there, it's always good to get going. So in this one, I'm going to take you through how I did in game week 18. And don't forget that I used my wildcards. It'd be interesting to see how that went. And then look how I'm set up for game week 19, who my captain is, what my transfers are, and stuff like that. So if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and let's quickly talk about OneFootball. So the absolute legends at OneFootball are back sponsoring the team selection video for game week 19. Please do check them out if you haven't already. There is a link in the description below to download. It's completely free, and to be honest, it helps me out. It helps the channel out if you go and hit that download button. So if you haven't already, it'll take you straight through to the store on Android, iOS, whichever device you're using, and you can give it a go. And between the game week 19 deadline and the game week 20 deadline, there's 10 days that are going to pass, right? This game week is going to last 7 days. You're going to want to stay up to date with the latest news, the latest lineups, the latest goal alerts and stuff like that. And OneFootball is the app you need. So give it a download, link in the description below, see what you think. Try it out. So for those of you that have been paying attention, I wildcarded last week, right? I mentioned it a few times that I was thinking about it and I ended up doing it. I think in terms of judging whether this was a good decision, we'll see in a few weeks, right? We'll see what the rank does in kind of 5 game weeks time. I think game week 18 and 19, I would hope to get green arrows because I've targeted 2 weeks that are big, right? A blank and a double. But then I've got to manage game week 20 to 25, right? We could see Leeds versus Southampton double game week get put in between there. And then I've also got to manage game week 26 with no wild card, and that could be a big double game week. So in terms of whether this is successful, we're not going to know. But I would hope to come out of game week 18 and 19 with a pretty big green arrow. The other decision was to save my chips. If I used no chips, I would have got 38 points. And that includes the transfers that I'd already made. So I'd already bought in Cancelo and De Bruyne. So I'm 21 points up, and I'm well set for next week, as we'll talk about in a minute. So I'm quite happy with that. In terms of free hits, I put out a free hit draft on the channel once Spurs versus Fulham got rearranged. So I put up an updated draft. I think that would have scored 61 or 62 because I would have had Reguilon instead of Wan-Bissaka, who did a bit better. And then outside of that, it's just all the same. So I think it would have just been 2 points extra because Reguilon in for Wan-Bissaka, Holding would have been Rashford, and De Gea would have been Leno, and Chris Wood was Wilson, who got the same points anyway. So I've only missed out from two points not using my free hit, and I've set myself up for next week. So I'm quite happy with that. And the green arrow is big. 41k to 25k, right? It's only like, what, 15, 16k, but at this kind of rank, that's a big increase. And if it wasn't for Mitchell, right, if Arsenal had actually scored, that would have been inside the top 20k, I think. Mitchell getting 8 points kind of killed me a little bit. But very happy to be inside the top 25k this early on in the season. I don't really keep records of what I've done in previous seasons, but I can't imagine I've been this high this early on very often, if at all, to be honest. So I'm hoping we can push through it, but obviously there's a big a lot of FPL managers are using different chips at different times, so it's hard to say this is good when a lot of managers still have their wildcard, bench boost, and free hit available. So they're going to see rank gains later in the season, and I might see a decrease in rank then. So it's too early to tell, but points on the board are always good, and I'm extremely happy. The whole defence came through, 6 points from everybody. De Bruyne, let's not even go into it. He should have had more points. Sterling should have put that away. Or more realistically, De Bruyne should have been on the penalty, right? It should have been 16 extra points, but it is what it is. Arsenal didn't really create anything against Crystal Palace of note. Saka's delivery was quite good, and a few times he did get it onto Holding's head from a corner, but it didn't quite go in, which was frustrating. If that had happened, it would have been absolutely amazing. Chris Wood, he was only in because he's got 3 games in 2 game weeks. Good from Kane, not so good from Fernandes or Son, but overall 59 points in a week where a lot of people got low scores. I didn't see many 70 points plus this week. Really happy with it. Good start to the wild card. Let's see how it's going to get us through the rest of the season, though. Okay, so we'll just go straight into the whole team rather than doing defence, midfield, and forwards, because I'm probably going to do a little bit of tinkering at the end as well. So this is how I'm set out. So right now, I've got 9 double game week players in my first 11. I've got Kane and Son. I'm going to talk about those two a little bit in a minute. On the bench, I've got Martinez, Bamford, Saka, Holding. Now, I probably need to think of a better way to present the bench in these videos because usually it doesn't matter because they're just bench fodder. But this week, obviously, they've got good fixtures. So on my bench, I've got Martinez. So he's got Man City away and Newcastle at home. Now, obviously, that fixture against Newcastle has been rearranged for Aston Villa. Whether or not he plays in both, obviously we're not going to know. I've said this a million times already this week. We're probably not going to find out who's got COVID or who had it, who's trained, etc. Dean Smith is probably going to give like a vague answer because they don't want to name players and stuff like that, which is fair enough, right? So we're probably not going to find out, but there's no point in selling him. He could play both, he could play one, whatever, right? I'll take the risk that he starts. Bamford's got Brighton at home. I think that's quite a good fixture. I don't expect Brighton to concede like 3 or 4 like we sometimes see Leeds score. But Bamford's always in and around the box, so he will get chances in this game. And then Saka and Holding have got Newcastle. Now, originally on the wildcard, I wouldn't have had Arsenal players at all. But just because of the way that Aston Villa happened, where they weren't playing in 18 and then they suddenly have a double in 19, but we don't know who's playing, I ended up with Saka and Holding. I can't complain too much because Holding got 6 points, so they got 9 points between them. And I'm hoping against Newcastle, that's as good a fixture as Crystal Palace, if not slightly better right now. So if they can keep a clean sheet, I'm already happy, I think. If Saka gets anything on top of that, that's a bonus. But if I can come out of this with Martinez with a double game week, Bamford against Brighton, Saka and Holding against Newcastle, with 16 plus points, I'll consider that pretty successful. And then for the rest of the season, okay, I don't have my wildcard, but I'm also not worried about my bench whatsoever. Yes, there's a debate to be had about how strong the bench should be because of COVID and stuff like that, but I'm still not going to hold that much money on my bench for most of the season. And I'll talk about how I'm going to start shifting funds at the end of the video. In terms of the rest of the team, very happy with Sofal, very happy with Sochet. Like, they got such good fixtures, West Ham. I would think they could probably get 2 wins, Burnley and West Brom. I don't think they're necessarily going to be high-scoring games, but I'm hoping the players that I will have will all kind of contribute to the wins, right? And Souček, 5 million or whatever he is now, 5.2, 5.3, really good value. I guess the issue for me is Man United are playing Liverpool away first. So how many points will come from that game is going to be difficult to call. Obviously, with the wildcard, I had to make some sacrifices. Like if I was just building a wildcard for this week, for example, no way would I have double Man United defence. I don't think I'd probably have like a Chelsea defender in there or something like that. But if that game's tight, right, for me, because I'm not going to captain Fernandes, I'm almost certainly going to captain De Bruyne. I haven't got it up on screen, but he's almost certainly going to be my captain. Because I'm not captaining Fernandes, it would actually be pretty good for me for that game to be low scoring. Like if Man United could get like a 1-0 win, that would be pretty good because so many people are going to own Fernandes anyway. It doesn't hugely matter to me if he scores really highly. And then Wan-Bissaka and De Gea is definitely a differential. But I do think that game will be tough, and I wouldn't expect Liverpool not to score at home against Man United. So that's obviously a bit of a worry. And I don't see many assists or anything for Wan-Bissaka. And if he gets any attacking returns, that would just be absolutely mad. And then Fulham away is obviously the game where I'm hoping for something. I think Fulham have improved, but I'm not sure they're going to cause United a huge amount of problems. So I'm hoping they're okay. Man City I'm really happy with, right? I just don't see how Crystal Palace will score against them. Of course, it could always happen, but City are looking so good right now. And Palace did cause Arsenal some problems last night, but Arsenal are not as good as Man City. So I think Diaz, Stones, Cancelo all play again. There is some worries in the community about rotation because Man City are playing like 3 or 4 days later and then another 3 or 4 days after that. But then there's FA Cup between their next Premier League game. So you'd imagine that FA Cup game, they'll rest some players or at least give them what they did last time. So 45-minute run out, get ahead, take them off, right? So that could happen again. I just think Stones and Diaz is such a good partnership. Pep is not going to want to break that up. And Cancelo looked really good again, right? Basically, when they go forward, he's in midfield, right? It's a 3-5-2 or a 3 whatever, right? It's 3 at the back and Cancelo plays in midfield. So I love him. Elsewhere, Chris Wood, look, he's not a great option. But to be honest, which double game week striker would I even change him for? I've already got Bamford. I'm probably going to bring Antonio in anyway. And the only other one is Watkins. But is Watkins a better option than Wood this week? I'm not sure that's worth a hit, right? So Wood definitely stays. The key for me is Kane and Son. Now, I keep getting told in comment sections on Twitter, if you sell Kane and Son and they score, it will hurt your rank, right? And I hate this argument. I absolutely hate it, right? I get it. Yeah, if I don't own De Bruyne, Fernandes or Salah this week, that's probably going to hurt my rank if they do well. But I just hate this argument that when they score, they hurt your rank. The problem is, right, people are looking at live FPL, right, which is a great tool. I use it all the time to check my rank, but I don't let it influence my decisions. So what happens is, Spurs players are so highly owned, people check their rank before the Spurs game. Kane and Son score, rank goes down. But no one takes into account that if you've got other players, your rank goes up, right? The problem is Spurs keep playing last in a lot of game weeks or near the end. And so people have got their green arrow and then they just see it go down from Spurs. If you never looked at your rank, then it wouldn't affect you so much. And I think that's the problem with Kane and Son. Are they great players? Yes, they're the top scoring players for midfielders and forwards, but the likes of Fernandes and Salah and co are not that far behind. There's other ways to get points, right? I've had green arrows, I think, in like 4 or 5 of the last 6 game weeks, something like that. And in those game weeks, I've sold Kane and I've sold Son, I've brought Kane back, and now I'm looking to sell them again. They are not essential by any stretch, I don't think. There are other big hitters as well. Now, if you've got a team where you can have Fernandes, De Bruyne, Salah, and another Spurs player, fair enough. But I'm bench boosting, I can't do that. So for me, I have to decide a Kane and Son against Sheffield United away, who just got their first win in the league. Bit of confidence, maybe. And also, Spurs, I'm still not sure about them as an attacking unit. To be fair, I think they were unlucky not to get more against Fulham. But that's kind of the reverse of what's happened in other games. In other games, they've created few chances and still got goals. In this one, they created a lot of chances and didn't. So it's almost like it's kind of equaling out a little bit. But for me, I just want Salah. I don't think I can go into this double game week without him. And the other key point for me of why I'm happy to sell them is because after this week, they have Liverpool. Now, I keep seeing people say Liverpool defence is not very good. It's still one of the best defences in the league. It might be a bit weaker, but it's still better than kind of how many teams in the league? 20 teams. It's probably better than at least 16, maybe even 17 of them, right? Man City defence probably better. And outside of that, who's better than Liverpool? Maybe Chelsea at times. So I don't think it's that weak. So I'm not hugely worried about having Kane and Son against Liverpool. Spurs played really well against them last time. They played on the counter and they created a lot of chances, and it could have been more goals for Spurs. Kane had a great chance from a corner. If you remember, it was almost like point blank range, and I think he put it over. Or put it into the ground and then it went over. And they could score, right? They could, of course they could, but I've got Salah, double game week, right? So he plays Man United, Burnley, and Spurs in the next 2. So 3 fixtures, United, Spurs, Burnley. Spurs themselves, Kane and Son, have Sheffield United and Liverpool, right? And then after that, it's Brighton, which is decent. But then after that, it's Chelsea. So Spurs fixtures are very mixed. For every good fixture they have a difficult one. So it's Sheffield United, then it's Liverpool. It's Brighton, good, then it's Chelsea. Then it's West Brom, then it's Man City. So people forget as well you've got transfers. So I will bring a Spurs player in, I think, for that West Brom game, depending on what else is happening at that point. There could be other fixture arrangements. So you can sell these players, and you do have transfers, you can bring them back. So I will probably do it. There's my justification. I just think I'd rather have Salah for the double, and I have to fund that. So Kane will go to Antonio. That's pretty much going to be my transfer. A -4, Kane and Son out, taking out the 2 highest scoring players in the game. And by the way, this will be the 3rd time, or the second or third time that I've sold Son, second or third time that I've sold Kane as well. And I can bring them back when I want as well, because I will have 3 big hitters in my team, and that will let me move funds around. It's probably easier to have Son than Kane, but that's the way it is. So I've been recording this section for about 9 minutes now, and about half of that is probably about Spurs. So yes, I think they're good options this week as single game weekers. Do I think they're better than Salah? No. Do I want Salah? Yes. Therefore, I have to fund it. So it'll probably be Kane to Antonio. I need to hear in David Moyes' press conference today what he says about Antonio. If he says he's not fit or something, then we have problems. Do I go to Watkins? Do I go to Rodrigo and just bring in another single game weeker? It gets a bit tougher then, and I might rethink it, but that's probably going to be my transfer. So this is the team. I'm playing the bench boost 100% unless I get major injuries between now and the deadline. I know there's risks with COVID and fixture postponements, but I've got the team for it. I'm just going to go with it. De Bruyne will be my captain, and Kane and Son out for Antonio and Salah is my planned move. But let's do a bit of tinkering to show you the money that I would have once I do that. So here we go then. This is the team. As I said, bench boost is confirmed as being played. By the way, it looks so much better on your team screen when the bench boost is activated. When it's not, it's just white, it looks rubbish. And then you put the bench boost on, boom, dark green, looks really nice. So Saka holding Bamford Martinez. I guess I should just quickly touch on the fact that some people will say, why would you not save it for the next double game week? But without a wild card, the chances of me being able to get 11 double game weekers in my team and 4 on the bench is almost impossible. And I even think for those without a free hit, who have to worry about Game Week 29, it's going to be very difficult to wildcard in 24 or 25, building for that Game Week 26 double game week with 15 double game weekers. It might happen, But that is kind of best case scenario. If it doesn't happen, then so be it. People will have to bench boost with single game weekers. And I think if you've got a decent bench this week, you should just go for it, right? But that's just my opinion. This is just my team. So this is the team. No one else hopefully will be changed. I'm dreading the press conference today, it has to be said. Because if there's any postponements or injuries to major injuries, then it's going to screw my transfer plans up. So I've got 0.6 in the bank, bench boost active. So Son and Kane out for Salah, who, by the way, is only like 9 points behind Son. So it's not like he's been that bad. And he's got a double game week, let's not forget that. And what is he on points per match, actually? Let's have a quick look. Can you see that? Points per match, Son 7.9, Salah 7.8. 7.8 points per match. So Son's played 1,400 minutes and Salah has played 1,300 and something. So points per match, they're basically the same, right? I get it. Son is cheaper. I fully get that. But at some point, you have to spend your budget. It's not all about value. And for me, Fernandes, Salah, Son are virtually identical. De Bruyne far behind. So I could see an argument about leaving him out. But with the fixtures, I don't want to. So points per match, very similar. I have to have Salah in. That actually leaves me 8.9 million to spend. So I could do something a little bit different. But the problem is, there's very few forwards that I would want. So I can't take a punt on Werner, because he's too expensive. I've got Bamford. There's no way let's never say never. I could bring Callum Wilson in. He could be an option. Watkins, in fact, let me put this on total points. Ings is probably out. Adams got a single game week. Watkins, do I even know if he's going to play twice? Lacazette, no chance. There's not very many players I could bring in. Martial, I can't do it because I've got 3 Man United players. Rodrigo's only got a single game week. And so basically, there's not too many options. So Cavani will come in as the option. And that'll leave me 2.7 million in the bank. The reason I was looking at other strikers is because if Antonio's not fit for whatever reason, we're here from David Moyes, then maybe I could go for a different route. But I don't think I will. I just don't think I will. There's no other options that I really want. So Antonio will probably be it. If not, I might take a risk on Watkins because Villa's fixtures are quite good after this. I'll see what Dean Smith says. But that's probably going to be the move for a -4. So taking Kane and Son out for a -4, there you go. They're going to hurt my rank when they score against Sheffield United. But hopefully my rank at the end of the week will be green because Salah and Antonio would have done so well. And that leaves me 2.7 in the bank. Now I could take an additional hit, but I don't think I'm going to because the moves I could make are Saka to an 8 million. That is almost certainly going to be money for Grealish. But again, I don't know if I want to bring him in this week. So Grealish is 7.7. So I could bring him in. The problem is he's on 4 yellows. The first game is Man City, so it's tricky anyway. And I just don't know if he's going to play both. And it's not even just Grealish will he play. It's who else will play in that team. I'm sure their first 11 they play will be mostly first choice players. But there's always that worry. He's on 4 yellows. So if he gets a yellow against City and blanks, and he doesn't get the next game, I think it's too risky for me to bring him in for what would be a -8 in total. So I'm probably not going to do that. The other option is I spend it in defence. So instead of holding, I upgrade to any defender for 7.2. Now, interestingly, I can't go to Robertson or Trent anymore because they're too expensive. But I could go for Ben Chilwell. And that's an option. It would still leave me 1.1. Now, again, I don't know if that's worth a -4. But one thing I will say is Ziyech is back, and I think that's quite big for Chilwell. And also, Fulham away is pretty good. Leicester away is trickier. But if Vardy had to play lots of like 90 minutes in that first game, would he definitely play the second one? You'd expect him to, but you never know. And then Wolves, Burnley are good fixtures. Spurs is difficult, but then Sheffield United, Newcastle are good too. And he may have a double game week in game week 26. Now, it is going to be Man United plus one more fixture, so it's not easy. But having really good fixtures plus a double, it could be worth just bringing him in for a -4 now. So that's something that I will consider. The only thing is, it blocks me from getting Grealish in, so I would have to free up. How much money? Let's have a look. 1.3 million. Now, there's easy ways to do that for me. If Martinez is fit and playing from game week 20 onwards, I can do De Gea down to a 4 million goalkeeper. I can do Wood down to Brewster. So there's ways to do it, but I've also got to be careful that I'm not booking in too many transfers and taking too many hits because once you start taking hits, that kind of wipes off the importance of the bench boost and the wildcard because yes, you've saved hits, but you're just taking more. And also, it's too early to be booking in too many transfers when I don't know when future small double game weeks will happen, and I also have to plan for the big double game week. So I may take a -8. The key question is, if Holding gets a clean sheet against Newcastle, that's 6 points. So a -4 then takes it up to 10 points. So Chilwell would have to get 10 plus points in the double to make it worthwhile, and I'm not sure about that. And like I said, it also means an additional hit later down the line to get Grealish. And I think with Villa's fixtures, I'd probably want him from game week 20 onwards. So just taking a -4 and leaving myself enough money to just do Saka to Grealish and leave Holden on the bench is another route. So there we go. Kane and Son out for Salah and Antonio. Let me know in the comments below what you think of that. I know it will be very divisive transfer. A lot of people will prefer just sticking with the Spurs boys. A lot of people will prefer having double game weekers in. So let me know. And then potentially an additional transfer, but I think I'll probably just take the -4. Let me know in the comments below what you think of that. So there we go. That is the team selection video done. I'm both kind of nervous and excited. It's a double game week, right? They're really good. I love them. But at the same time, with everything going on, fixture postponements and stuff like that, it's a little bit nerve-wracking to have the bench boost activated in a week like this. But fingers crossed we come through unscathed. I'll obviously watch the press conferences later to see if there's any major news and info and stuff that will affect my transfers. If there is, I'll leave a pinned comment below. If it's a major change, then I might do another video later on today or tomorrow to talk about it. But I don't expect that to be the case. But you never know in FPL with the way things are right now. If you are enjoying these team selection videos every week, please do give them a like and hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Also, check out OneFootball. It will help me in the channel if you download it. It's completely free. Link in the description below. That'll take you through straight to the store to give it a go. And I think it will help you prep over the next week or so. There's going to be lots of team news, lots of goal alerts and stuff like that. And if you haven't already checked out Patreon, link in the description below to that as well. Everybody that signs up goes up on the Legends wall. There's loads of perks and benefits over there, additional content, Slack access and stuff like that if you want to check it out. And a big shout out to Raj S, who signed up since the last video as well. I'll leave it there. Captaincy will hopefully be out later this evening. I'll have a deadline stream tomorrow morning about 10:15 in the morning. Make sure the tune in for that is going to be huge. Otherwise, I'll leave you to your tinkering. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you soon.